So some very unfortunate fans of Cyberpunk 2077 have lost thousands and thousands of dollars because of a brand new Cyberpunk 2077 themed scam going on right now that you definitely need to be aware of, because this scam can happen with other games as well. Check it out. Here's the headline. It says, malware wrapped in Cyberpunk 2077. Cyber criminals are disguising ransomware as a beta version of Cyberpunk 2077 for Android. So they're presenting Cyberpunk 2077 as basically a mobile game. And we got a lot of other stuff to talk about in this video as well, including the fact that CD Projekt Red to undertake vigorous action to defend itself against lawsuits. So they are readying up for this lawsuit. Plus, we're going to take a look at some really cool mods. New mod improves NPC's behavior, and also another mod, this one's really cool, that makes the game look like the old Doom, and a lot more stuff in this video. So let's do this. Let's dive in. It is your daily dose of Cyberpunk 2077 news updates. Let's rock and roll. So first of all, let's talk about protecting yourself against this horrible scam, because yes, it could happen to you. And you know, these scam artists could actually go after another game to piggyback off of. So they look like they go after a game like Cyberpunk 2077, and they're like, hey, this game is doing really well. Let's make a scam based off of it. So yeah, let's dive into the article and how you can protect yourself. So here it is. Links in the description below to the actual articles if you want to read it for yourself. It says here, no sooner was Cyberpunk 2077 released for Windows and consoles that we came across a beta version for Android online. It was completely free to download from a site bearing the name Cyberpunk 2077 Mobile. The game's actual developer has yet to announce any mobile version of the game, so we decided to investigate. So there's your first red flag right there, that we know that yes, there is no mobile version for Cyberpunk 2077. So just be aware of that. A lot of these scams come from the mobile side of stuff, so be aware of that one. It says Cyberpunk 2077 for Android. No, it's ransomware. So it says the website for the alleged mobile version looks nothing like Cyberpunk 2077's official site. It looks more like Google Play. In fact, its creators claim the beta version was released on the same day as the official release, and at the time of this post has been downloaded 1,000 times. Some users have even left feedback saying it wasn't bad for a beta version, which of course those users are probably fake as well. But it talks about this beta as well, and once you get into it, you are presented with a ransom demand. I kid you not. It presents you with an actual ransom demand. It says, the message is rather in garbled English, and it informs the victim that all of their selfies and other important files are now encrypted. To recover them, the cyber criminals demand $500 in Bitcoin within 24 hours. Or 10 hours, the ransom note mentions both periods. Anyway, the note continues, if the victim doesn't deliver the money in time, the malware will permanently erase everything. So there's a fear-mongering message in there, a message of urgency that you have to do something within a certain amount of time to get your files back. We're going to talk about, are the files actually encrypted? Is this actually a virus that can make you, lose your files and things like that? Now, let's dive into this a little bit further. It goes on to say this, according to the note, any attempt to remove the ransomware will be futile and result in the loss of the files. It says, are the encrypted files recoverable? We check to see what really happens to the files on an infected device. The files are indeed encrypted and assign the extension .coder.crypt. In addition, the malware places a readme.txt file containing the same ransom message in each folder. There are certain ways that you can recover the files. It goes on to mention. I will leave, the link in the description below if you do want to find out more about that. But check this out right here. This is the crazy part. It says, should you pay up if you, are dealt with this card? It says, at the time of this writing, more than $8,000 in Bitcoin have been transferred to the cyber criminal's wallet. Meanwhile, the file recovery is in no way guaranteed. The ransomware creators might simply disappear with the money, or finding victims willing to pay demand more. Therefore, we strongly advise against paying the ransom. Of course, don't Don't ever pay any type of ransom that comes from a virus. Please, my God. To me, that's unheard of. I would never do it, even if my files were encrypted. I would try to take it to like some sort of repair shop and say, yo, I got a virus on here. Or at least do some homework online to determine what type of virus I'm dealing with and how to fix the issue. So those are the steps you should take first if you ever are dealt this card. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. Now, they have a whole section here on how you can actually stay safe from ransomware and protect yourself. So definitely give that a read, a thorough read in the future. And just be warned, like if a game does come out, there are scam artists that are willing to piggyback off these games, the success of these games, and really make some vicious viruses for sure. So you have been warned. And remember, if a really popular game comes out, let's pretend it is, some major open world game, and suddenly there's a mobile game alongside it. Ask yourself, has there been an announcement related to a mobile version of this? Is this real? So yeah, that's another thing to consider. But it seems like these scam artists like to hit hard, fast, and then withdraw, and then move on. So that's another issue as well. They're pretty quick. All right, let's go into this article from IGN right here. It says Cyberpunk 2077 CD Projekt to undertake vigorous action to defend itself against lawsuit. The class action lawsuit was filed by New York-based Rosen law firm. It goes on to say this: Cyberpunk 2077 publisher CD Projekt SA has confirmed that it has received notice of the lawsuit filed against the company and will undertake vigorous action to defend itself against any such claims. The management board of CD Projekt SA made the regulatory announcement in response to New York-based Rosen law firm filing the aforementioned class action lawsuit on behalf of purchasers in the USA of securities of CD Projekt SA between January 16th, 2020 and December 17th, 2020. So that's interesting to me right there. And of course, these lawsuits cater more towards investors, shareholders. That's also something to keep in mind. And the lawsuit right now is going through a process of being approved as well, because the courts have to look at it and go, hey, how many people do you have really willing to participate in this lawsuit? To me, it seems like CD Projekt Red is worried about the lawsuit, considering that they have made this announcement. It seems like this lawsuit might actually be a thing going forward. And considering that their stock has plummeted so much, you better believe some investors have felt the pain for sure in their wallet, and that's definitely not good. All right, let's keep going. Check this out. This is really cool. The mods are beginning to roll in for the PC. This is stuff that gets me super excited, because I feel like once the mods get to a certain level, developers, in this case CD Projekt Red, may actually take notice and try improving the game themselves officially. Check it out. It says Cyberpunk new mod improves NPCs' behavior. A new Cyberpunk 2077 mod that has been released online introduced some very welcome improvements for non-playable characters roaming Night City. The first new mod is called Alternate Crowd Behavior, an INI file that tweaks that alters how crowds are generated, how they move, and how they react to one another, attempting to fix one of the most glaring issues currently found in the game. That is so badass that they're willing to make mods like this. They say the Cyberpunk 2077 alternate crowd behavior mod can be downloaded from the Nexus Mods hub. Check it out in the description below if you want to give it a try. Let me know what you think about this, but it should improve it. A lot of people are noticing, hey, that there's no AI for like driving around, and there needs to be a bunch of improvements. I'm wanting someone to make a mod that rehauls the police wanted system. I'm waiting for that, so cross our fingers that someone's actually working on that right now. And we already know that a modder is working on a third-person view mod, which is really, really badass. Oh, check this out. This is freaking awesome. It says Cyberpunk 2077 mod makes it look like Doom. One talented user develops a reshade mod for Cyberpunk 2077 that transforms the game's aesthetics to make it look like classic Doom. Here's the screenshot of what he made it look like right here. That is freaking awesome that he managed to pull that off. The question is, does it have that like Doom music with it? I hope it has some sort of cyberpunk dystopian doom sounding music with that one. But again, if you want to find out more about that mod, check it out in the description below. Also, get this. There's a really cool Mortal Kombat Easter egg in Cyberpunk 2077. It says complete Fly Me Away, a side quest in the outskirts to unlock this special Scorpion Easter egg in Cyberpunk 2077. Be careful not to miss it. Now, it gives instructions on how to do this as well. The line between the Easter egg and the cameo is a little blurred. Goes on to actually describe how you can find the Scorpion Easter egg right here. Check it out right there. That is so freaking cool. If you want to find out how to unlock this, it does give the description. It's basically a quest reward after completing Fly Me Away, a side job for Mitch on the in the outskirts. So yeah, I would love to have this a part of my apartment. There's some really cool stuff you can get for your apartment. This is something that players want CD Projekt Red to build upon for sure. All right, now it's time to go over, you guessed it, your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below for a chance for it to end up right here in a future video. So, let us begin. All right, we're going to check it out. Check out all the glorious comments here. First one is from Ashley Vansleeve, who says, sounds like amateur hour again at CD Projekt Red. What CEO gets himself embroiled in a social media storm on top of the other dramas at play here? To me, it highlights that CD Projekt Red management team seems ill-equipped to handle the issues that have arisen around Cyberpunk's launch. There's a lot more to running the company than just producing the actual product, in their case, the games. It would seem that there probably needs to be a shake-up behind the scenes at CD Projekt Red if they hope to move on from here. Seems like a lot of you guys agreed with that one. Let me know if you do or not in the comments below if you think that management should change up things. I've seen several comments here underneath my video that should be the case. We'll see what happens. I know that's a big undertaking because there's a lot involved with that. All right, let's keep going. It says the CEO of CD Projekt Red brought this on himself. He should be mad at nobody but himself. And if you're wondering where these comments come from, it comes from this video that I did here about how CD Projekt CEO is now furious with Sony for removing game from PlayStation 5 and PS4 store. So these are the responses to this video. Yeah, you know, it really comes down to the board members and the people making the decisions about when to release the game, which is outside of the control of the developers. And that's something, again, like I've witnessed personally with certain games. You know, I've met many developers before, and I've seen how they don't have as much control as you think when it comes to things like release schedules. That goes down to like the board, the people that handle the funding, the investors, and things like that. So yeah, ultimately it's the suits that are going to be to blame on this one. Oh, check this comment out right here. Years of good faith, credibility, and popularity curb stomped by 2020. 2020 strikes again. Damn, 2020 has been rough. Actually, I've been watching the Netflix show Death to 2020. It's a humorous take, a dark humor. I guess you would say dark humor. It's a dark humorous take on 2020 for sure. And dark humor is actually on the rise. That's my thing. Like, I love dark humor. So maybe you guys would enjoy it. Check it out on Netflix. But Rex says this: riding the train in the beginning would be fun to see the city because you don't have many cars. That is true. Like, we've seen that the train platform in Cyberpunk 2077 is incomplete, and a lot of people would love to see that finished. And also, a lot of you noted that yeah, it would be cool as a fast travel station as well. Urez says, if the CEO should be pissed off at anyone, it should be himself for having Cyberpunk released in the state it's in. I think the CEO and other top corporate executives that were in charge of releasing the game early when it wasn't in a good state should be fired for sure. Woo! 330 upvotes. Wow. Man, oh man. So there's two sides to that coin. I'm curious to see if like some of these executives asked the developers, hey, can you pull this off in time? And, you know, some of these developers said, yeah, we got this. This patch will fix so many issues. It'll be like a nice, solid game. You know, that's another side of the story. I'm curious to see if that's true. And I'm speculating on that. But again, you know, just playing the game. I would never think it would be wise to play the game, see it in a horrible state, and just roll the dice and assume that a patch would fix it. Without seeing the patch, that's insane. Like, to release a game without knowing, that's another whole issue. But there it is. There's the latest comments. Here's a top comment. You know what? I want to highlight this one. It has 400 upvotes. I got to get the right comments in here. JB says, I wonder how Sony felt about him sending all of his upset customers to flood their site and abuse their staff when they were preparing for Christmas break. I liked Witcher 3 as much as anyone, but CD Projekt Red totally is in the wrong here. They made a decision to sell a product they knew was bad to people and to lie and hide how bad it was. All the repercussions of this are deserved, and they're lucky they don't go bankrupt from it. Yeah, I don't think they'll go bankrupt from this one. Here's the thing about CD Projekt Red. Their finances aren't dependent 100% on Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. They also have GOG.com, which is rolling in a lot of money and dough for them. Honestly, I don't want them to go bankrupt. I would prefer if they persevered through this one and survived it because, you know, at the core of this game is a good game. It's a solid game. And then we love The Witcher. We want a Witcher 4. You know, we want a Cyberpunk 2 where they actually learn from this mistake and they're like, hey, we learned. I'm sorry. And then they released an amazing launch of a game down the road. And I'm also honestly curious to see what they do with Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer. We'll see what happens with that. But that's, for me, completely on the back burner. I prefer solid open world single player experiences with a story. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 news updates and open world gaming goodness. And I will see you all next time. Take care.